Hello everyone. In the previous video, we have created Client VPN endpoint from AWS Management Console. In this video, what we are going to do, we will download the VPN client configuration file from self-service portal, and then we will upload the configuration file into our VPN client software that has been installed on our local machine, right? So without further ado, let's start. So what I'm going to do, I will try to log into our AWS account using AWS SSO user. All right. So this is the user I'm using, and let's put the password and let's press enter, right? And shortly, I will be logged into my AWS SSO dashboards. And from here, I can see two applications. One is VPN Client and another one is VPN Client Self-Service. Because you remember, whenever we created these two applications, we assigned developer group into these two applications. And because the user I have used belong to that developer group, they have access to these two applications. So now what I'm going to do, I will try to download the VPN client configuration file from self-service portal. And to do that, I will click on that self-service application, and shortly I will be redirected into AWS Client VPN self-service portal, right? And from here I will just download the client configuration file. Also, you can see AWS has their own client VPN software for Windows, Mac and Linux. You can download one of them that suits your operating system. All right. So I have already installed the VPN client software for my Windows machine. And what I'm going to do, I will open that VPN client software. And then from here, I will upload the configuration file that I have just downloaded into this VPN client software. And to do that, what I will do, I will go to File, then Manage Profile, and then I will add profile. Let's give a name to this profile. Let's say it's demo. And let's select the VPN configuration file. I believe this is the one that I have just downloaded, right? And click on Add Profile. All right, so I found this issue for Windows. If I open the VPN configuration file in a code editor, what I can see at the bottom, it's making trouble. So what they said in the warning, it says, remove it from the configuration file. So let's just remove line number 41, right? And let's save it. So let's try to upload the configuration file again, and let's click on Add Profile. Now it seems worked, right? So click on Done. And if we select the drop down, we have the profile that we have created. So select that one and press on Connect. As soon as you press on Connect, a new tab will be open in your browser to authenticate your VPN client request, right? And if you see a message something like authentication details received, that means you have successfully authenticated yourself through VPN endpoint, right? So let's just close this tab. All right, let's close this one as well. So we have successfully authenticated ourselves for VPN endpoint, but how we make sure it's really working? And to do that, what I will do, I will log into AWS Management Console, and from there I will go to EC2 service. In EC2, I have already created an EC2 instance in a private subnet. So let's select that EC2 instance, and you can see it just has the private IP address. It doesn't have public IP address because this EC2 instance has been deployed into private subnet. Now let's copy the private IP address, and from the terminal, I will try to ping into that private IP address, right? If I copy and paste that private IP address and let's press enter, you will see response is getting back. That means we are successfully talked to a private instance that has been deployed in our VPC, which is associated with our VPN endpoint. And that way we can ensure that the communication between my machine and AWS resources are gone through private tunnel through VPN endpoint, right? So this is the way we can authenticate AWS VPN client user with AWS IAM Identity Center, right? But before I finish this video, I would like to show you something else as well. So let's go back to AWS Management Console, and then let's go back to VPC. And then if I go to the VPN endpoint, and let's select our VPN endpoint, and if I go to connection tab, I can see all the connections that have been made to this VPN endpoint so far, and I can see some of the connections are still active, and as an administrator we can also terminate those connections as well. And to do that, what I will do, I will select that connection. For example, I want to terminate this connection. I found this connection is not trustworthy, so I will select the connection and I will click on terminate connection, and then let's terminate the connection. All right, so the connection has been terminated. All right, so that's all about authenticating AWS VPN client user with AWS IAM Identity Center, right? So that's all. Thank you.